Hi, I'm Sean Patrick Maloney. Remember the old slogan, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your kids are? Well, now the slogan should be, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where on the internet your kids are and who's there with them? You know, I'm a Democrat running for Attorney General of New York, and one of the greatest challenges we face now is keeping our kids safe online. You know, the internet's an amazing tool. Kids should learn it and know how to use it safely. But today the statistics are alarming. Do you know 1 in 7 children reports being sexually solicited online? There are over 100,000 child pornography websites, and the average age to inappropriate images for a kid is just 11 years old. And 2/3 of children report that they do things online that they don't want their parents to know about. You know, imagine a camp where the counselors let anybody have access to the kids, where they let adults come onto the campgrounds and have unfettered access with no supervision from parents or staff. That would be outrageous and wrong. Well, today there are super social networking sites like MySpace that allow adults to have contact with our kids, and there are no protections for parents. We need to do something about that. Well, what can the Attorney General do? Well, first, we ought to deploy 100 prosecutors to prosecuting sex crimes in New York, including online threats. We got to expand the Internet Bureau within the Attorney General's office to include a child protection safety unit. We need to require social networking sites like MySpace to enter a code of conduct agreement where they do their part, like requiring credit cards to create user profiles, like making sure there's a buddy system so that kids using the service have to include the email address of a parent who gets notified when they make new friends and when they do things that might be dangerous online. We also ought to have automatic software that flags emails or other connections involving sexually inappropriate materials or phrases or words. We can do these things. If MySpace won't do it, we can require them to do it. But we can do more. We can increase sting operations so that we catch pedophiles before they hurt kids. You know, if Dateline NBC can do it, so can the state of New York. We need to draft better legislation that defines sex crimes and that stiffens penalties and gives law enforcement better tools. We need to increase education and awareness so that parents know about these threats and schools teach these threats. And we need to work with good internet groups like NetMoms and Cyber Angels that do terrific work in this area. And you know what? You as a parent have a role too. You need to speak to your child about the threats online. You need to know if they have a MySpace profile. You need to sit down and look at that profile with your child. And you know what? You should become a member of MySpace and have your own profile and become friends with your kid online so that you can see who they're making friends with, just as you would if they were in your house or out at a party. You know, working together we can make the internet what it can be, wonderful tool for research and for learning, and also safe for our children. If you give me a chance to be Attorney General, that's what I'm going to do. Thanks for watching.